made it just in time. What's going on, everybody?
Whoa.
How we doing, guys? All right.
Well, let me get my phone out.
Yeah,
so we can look at the comments.
Do everything you got to do there.
I'm going to share it to my thing,
And
too.
believe it or not, Instagram went live right away on time this time. I'm just saying.
I hardly believe it.
No, you should hardly believe it, actually.
It's, famously, make sure the notifications are off your phone.
Well, phone's up. Oh, no, it's right there. I thought I put it, like, far, far away.
Hilarious.
And you can watch me do it, sir. I'm going right to do not disturb. And guys, this is all the stuff that should be done beforehand, but as professional as we are, we like to share these things with you.
Whoa, BST, as they would say in the biz.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. All right.
In my airsoft regalia for a upcoming event I will be going to.
So we are. This is gonna be a really fun stream. And I don't know where the elder is. I haven't seen him jump in anywhere yet. But that's okay. We'll get him here eventually, maybe. And we
should angle the camera up a little bit. It's perfectly in frame for you.
Well, and is that not all that matters?
No, gosh, you don't sound conceited.
Well, too much.
Much like your
how's that? A little bit
better.
More? Up a little
just
bit?
a hair, but you can't.
There it is. Look, okay.
There it is.
Guys, we've never.
Folks,
what are we? 3 years in now? We'll get
for
there
the
eventually.
stream.
Yeah, isn't it?
How upset are you? No, we're still this bad at it.
At some point, maybe if we decide that we're going to do this, like, I don't honestly not care about it, but I care about it.
I just want to have fun with it.
Yeah, that's it.
As the illustrious guest.
We got one in. Yeah, he's sitting in the back room, looking all handsome.
Awesome.
We can jump him in. We got some chats going on already. Let's see. Lori, what up, bitches? There we go. We got CRISPR. Laz, oh, look at you jumping in here trying to throw some
comments.
I know we got to talk about him here coming up soon.
Bam. We're gonna have him. There's that muted phone. We're gonna have a stream just for Laz and the gang because we're gonna talk about a very fun thing they're doing.
Yep.
Very excited for that. Very excited for that. Very excited. Laz is super involved in that. I see him pushing it out.
I am, and I guess I can make the announcement now. Can I say that? Or should I not say that? I know that DCM John Oberdor is the CEO of one side.
As long as everybody knows and is cool with you making it public, why not?
Well, no, I don't think anybody is upset about that. The cool thing that I did find out, I was asking who the other CEO is, and it's Bill Gary. It's BG, which is super cool.
Sick, actually.
I don't think I've ever actually gotten no, I think I played with him once, but didn't actually see him on the field ever.
Yeah, pretty cool guy.
He is such a huge supporter. Great guy. So it's gonna be awesome to shoot him.
From the horse's mouth. Yes, sir, you can.
Benny, what's going on? Yordi, Top. There we go. DCM, there we are. Wow. Yeah, can you see all those? I can't.
Yeah. Dave Canagosum, Yo-Yo, my man Matthew Alonso.
I just realized we don't have the light I can hear because Emma's not here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. Just one more thing for you to prove that I was wrong about not doing this. So you shush. Time is almost the time is almost nigh for you for you to do your.
I kind of just only want to talk about.
You just want to jump into it?
I think.
Do we have anything coming up close enough that we should be announcing?
I think we have a fun announcement that can segue into us talking about it. An announcement that, from the horse's mouth, you can make here, and then let's push it, and then let's just go into the
fun announcement about me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I had said previously that I was going to take time off from being in a command position,
famously.
But then I was actually asked, surprisingly asked actually, by John Oberdor, who is the CEO for Laz's upcoming event, and I have been asked to be the XO for that, and I have accepted. So thank you.
One pity clap.
Right there, and I shed a tear because, but it is in our backyard where I have not gotten to play in many years.
Operation Stronghold.
Yes, at the Immokalee. What is that?
Old Henderson County Prison.
Yeah. Hendry.
Let's do it like that.
Old Hendry. But with that in mind, since we're talking about events, we are going to
August 9th. Get your dang tickets.
Yep.
Tickets are only $80. Buy them up. Buy your green.
Let's see. It's gonna be the best stream.
It is. He's not wrong. You know.
I'm gonna throw that right there. All right.
Yes.
So it's like it's vibrating in the chat. So we're gonna jump in. We're gonna actually throw. We're gonna bring one of our guests.
One of my favorite people.
Talk about timing. Look at that.
Two of my favorite
we're gonna
people.
Bring them both in right now.
And I'm definitely not gonna say I like Freddie more than Weiner because that would be rude.
Woo! There we go. I'm gonna actually. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Sorry, I had to throw my headset on. Sorry.
You guys can hear me. I'm good.
Okay. That's what I wanted to lay it out like that. Beautiful. Both you gentlemen are on here. This is gonna be awesome. I know you both had independently very successful events. Weiner, super proud and happy for you. Freddie, you had an event, a brand new AO. So, I mean, this is super cool. Very happy for both of you guys. Are near and dear to our hearts, obviously.
Look at this split. We got new games for one company, new AO for another company. It's a freak of news.
Absolutely. And so I just make sure I'm not missing anything over in the chats. Okay. All right. So really, I mean, this is like, it's funny. You kind of coined the term bar talk. And this is kind of going to be
the boys are just at the bar. Just...
it's a cross between, for real. We're going to do, AAR for both these events. But I talked to Freddie earlier, and we wanted to share, because both companies have similar visions. Although VFA is obviously focused on veterans primarily, but then it extends out where Weiner is really focused on that whole bringing the next level when you're going from your backyard or your pickup game. You're trying to make your way into Mil Sim.
NuBreed is a springboard event host.
Yes.
To have you step on the trap,
right, we'll bring
you up to other events.
That's right. We'll shoot you up to the big dogs like VFA or TCA or AMS.
If I could steal a word from Freddie, and I'm gonna do it.
Oh my God.
Both of them actively try to get these guys out there and get kinetic.
Kinetic. There you go.
Now you're building the player base.
I give my credit. Blackbeard's on here. What's going on, Blackbeard? How are you, buddy?
Ooh, I don't like that, Chris. Team only tan hashtag. Me, who's about to play for a tan team at another event in New York.
So some of this is going to be surprising for us because we weren't able to go to the Freddie's event, to the VFA event for DAC.
Yes, I'm very upset I wasn't able to.
Wiener's like, should I just cancel my event?
Yeah, that's right.
And but we were at Future Wars, and you had a huge hand in that.
I had two hands.
I just fed people. That was it. And it was my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
You know what we could do to kind of put an order of operations?
Go ahead. Yeah, please.
One event will be shorter than the other event because one event was one day and another event was the whole weekend.
Look at you.
We could start with Future Wars, Horse's Mouth, and the rest of the body. Get it out of the way, and then have the illustrious Freddie Lux. Or if he was a rapper, Freddie Dread, get into the meat and potatoes of his event as well.
Yeah.
So, dearest Sir Weiner, would you?
Dearest Sir Weiner.
Sir
Weiner. That's what
Take it away, sir.
My son was called King Weiner at one point during the homecoming parade and stuff. So yeah.
All right,
so,
and that's our show for the night.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah, I know, because I go off on tangents. No problem. So, NuBreed Airsoft Operation Future War Chapter 1 at the Extreme Outdoor Orlando Paintball and Airsoft Field was awesome. I mean, we had 115 players there. That's right. He's wearing a shirt. Having 115 players there, 120 players there. Endless. There you go. And everybody had a blast. I mean, I've aside from you minor hiccups and like I keep telling everybody, if you're not learning something at each of your events, you're not doing it right. So everything is just you kind of expand on it from there. But the player base was phenomenal. We had everybody from brand new players that never played an airsoft event all the way up to the guys who've been to TCA or VFA, where they're having a good time. The local guys. I kept forgetting. I go, I'm supposed to be at Freddie's event, but that's okay. We still had a great time. We introduced a new thing to it, kind of like our technicals, which was power armor, which we were able to win by collecting points or finding certain fragos out on the field, and you got points, so you could actually call them into play. And so they were able to be kind of like your enforcer type out for the game. So that went really well. We had 1, 2, 3 total power armors that were out there pretty much the whole time,
Why do I
and they
feel
were.
like 3 years it's going to be NuBreed versus VFA with the whole. He's got the Terminator series.
Yeah, well, that's right. Freddie does have the Terminator. We gave away actually the winner. Actually,
It's like a grim dark future where Amazon
right.
robots have to fight Walmart robots.
Yeah. It was we had one of the award for the top scoring point, which by the way, the points ended up being the negative because of the way the game was going. And the winner actually had less negative points than the other team. So they actually won the Terminator head plaque. So it was basically a Terminator on a plaque with the Future Wars in Chapter 1. It was actually, believe it or not, Tan actually won, but only by 1 airstrike, I do believe. That's got to be Rattler's Rage. No, they won by 1 airstrike. But the player base just had a great time. Like I said, we had a couple 8-year-old, 11-year-olds out there with their dads and stuff playing, and we found the one of the kids out there who didn't carry a sidearm actually won a pistol from one of our great sponsors, DEO, that was there. So that was pretty cool. But a majority of the people, we had a whole paintball field that came up from Palm Bay Airsoft. Preacher, I don't know if Preacher's on here or not like that, but he's like the main admin for the Airsoft, and he had such a fan that he can't wait for the next event. So we gotta start working on that. Right. Matter of fact, we might even consider going down doing a event down there at that field down in Palm Bay, which would be kind of cool. So a lot of stuff came from this. The game was great. What's that? Hint. The game was great, and it was just, I don't know. It was a force on force with the added the power armor and Justin West. Yeah, Terminators versus Apes. That could be pretty cool. Yep. There's Justin. There's Justin right now. He's working, so he can't be on live on here. Otherwise, it'd happen.
It was a force on force alt themed event.
Alt-sim, yep.
The feedback was so positive, I was getting nervous. I was at that point waiting for a dead body to be pulled off the field.
No casualties. We had enough cases of water out there.
There was
no casualties. One minor heat cash.
Well, he had an upset tummy, so he barfed. And then
then he went back and played. I think he was the one who was it the 10-year-old who drank the beer the night before? No, I'm kidding.
But regardless, I really want to just say the points. I have to get this out of my brain. The score was -16,000 to -24,000. Tan took it. They called in one last airstrike, and they would have, if they didn't do that, they would have technically been in the positive.
Freddie's like, wait, what?
It was so good.
Oh no, I'm tracking.
Yeah, so it was definitely cool.
Also, shout out to the admins. Shout out to the command element of Green and Tan. Sincerely, the event wouldn't have worked if they didn't participate in it. It went a little too well. The only thing, we pushed the lunch, we extended it by a half hour because the heat was eating away at the player base.
Yes.
But started again, great stuff, fantastic time. I just wanted to chime in with the points. The points, we were approximating how badly people would lose by, and it was better than we thought. We're not lose by, but if the points would go in the negative, we were hoping for like a -1,000, -2,000. No.
Right.
Way better. Way better.
Battletoad, that's Frogger. Battletoad, he was one of our power suits. It was awesome.
Yeah.
There's going to be pictures popping up everywhere. I just got a full download of 3 sets of photos. Over 1,000 photos were just sent to me. So they'll be going up on the website soon, and there's pictures of everybody. So if you're looking for pictures for yourself, go to the NuBreedAirsoft.com website and check it out. The pictures are coming out soon. So don't forget that. So now on to the next. But like I said, everybody had a great time. The parents had a great time. The walk-ons, we accepted walk-ons. The walk-ons had a great time. So we're going to have a lot of people.
We hear our community about the situation with the walk-ons. It wasn't clear enough. I wish they were better denoted on which side they were at. It will not happen again.
Nope, it won't happen again because I'm actually going to have on hand tan T-shirts, green T-shirts, and actually I'm going to find a place where I can get a whole bunch of the scrubs so I can have pants for them too, tan and green scrubs for the walk-ons who come without uniform and need, so we can tell them apart a little better. That was the only thing. Yep, we apologize for not having a better idea. Yep, but it like I said, if you're not learning anything at your events, you ain't doing it right.
Follow the NuBreed Airsoft for any future announcements, especially for a future announcement on Future Wars 2 and any other upcoming Airsoft event. Just kind of punctuate this. Follow us on all social media handles, pictures live soon. We have videos and promo. Thank you to everybody that participated. Period.
Yep.
So I
Thank
gotta give the shout out. What I feel is one. Not only, I mean, look, every event that Weiner runs, it's always fun. There's always positivity. There's always a lot of that going on, and it's been a bit of a struggle getting your really finding your standing. Just shy of 100, I think, day of, and then hit what 130 and change.
130 and change total. With them, some of the local field players, we made a special exception for them. But like I said, we are trying to build the sport, get people to go up to the level, whether it be AMS, TCA, Milsom West, Veterans for Airsoft, Lions Claws. We want to take these players and build them up to go up there. Mir Tactical. I got to mention Mir also. So, yep.
Some people don't understand that to run an event, especially with, like, we've been lucky enough, we had a field, so we have a following right there on the field. And our games, the events we ran were on our field initially, and then right in our backyard down in Immokalee. So we benefited from that. You were like, hey, I started a company. I want to run great games. You're like, okay. And, it's not that easy to do. And Freddie definitely understands that as well. He's been doing it now.
Freddie's been in the trenches.
8 years.
Well, I've been doing it with VFA for 8, but 12 overall. The first team I was on, we were hosting larger scale local events. So
very nice.
It's not an easy thing to do, especially when you don't have a dedicated following initially. But you're getting there. You have people now who are dedicated to you, and they're bringing more. and you're getting. Every game gets bigger. Every game gets better, and like you said, you're learning something new from every game. So that's right. That's absolutely fantastic. That is, for me, I think, the big win. Everything else, the game went off almost without a hitch. I think there was little hiccups here and there, but for the most part,
it's minor stuff.
Big win right there.
It's stuff that's easily correctable for the next event. Things along, just minor, like I said, very minor stuff. We had, it's just, I don't know, the player base that was there was phenomenal, and they'll follow us around. DCM and the Brotherhood, great people. Orlando and John and all those guys, and then of course we had Daniel and Oscar on the tan side, and they were just, it makes me want to keep doing it. Put it that way. I didn't have that. So I think there's a smile all weekend long on my face. I stayed off the field, let my staff do their thing, run their game, and it worked. It worked.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Pause there. Move over to Freddie.
Yep.
Talk about the
we already punctuated.
opening.
You drug it out longer.
Yeah. I'm gonna go over here now.
So Freddie, let's talk about stock prices in China. No.
Yeah.
Freddie, you ran an event last weekend.
We did.
An event of bombs I missed. It looked awesome.
It was bomb awesome. First of all, Weiner, this is what success feels like.
Correct.
No, that's exactly what you experienced. The smiling, it's, you go through the trenches a few times, and then all of a sudden things just click, and that's how it should be. You know what I'm saying? Like, every event host they don't want bad things happening in their event.
Right.
They want all great things. And when the player base is there and everything dials in. So if you were asking me, like, how did Redacted go? Well, we're going to just redact everything and just say we can copy pasta what Weiner said. And we shared the same weekend. We were definitely afraid of the weather because it called for rain, and we haven't been rained out. And we still hold that record after the weekend. We had one moment of complete chaos through one lightning strike that shook everybody on the AO. And then it rained a little bit, which cooled down Saturday night. But we had a great event. We were just over 220 with the players.
Wow, nice.
And we pulled off some things. Simfire was popping. We had professional pyrotechnician on site. And so Sunshine was rocking his booms and his fireballs. And we tied in Stingray Airsoft in their AT4. So we got to test out that product and see that live. And the player base had a really great job. Jonah and Doug, who are the faction commanders, did freaking, speaking of the devil, there he is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
Can't say
Good old
no
He
about
Dougie.
manifested his
Yeah.
dream.
Hey, Dougie.
They did amazing. The player leadership that stepped up into the platoon lead roles. Shout out to Florida Resistance Ace for jumping up. Brad McLaughlin. They must have kept it redacted on Doug's side because I don't know who Doug's platoon leaders were. But dude, the player base responded really well to our Frago lane. We brought, medical style Frago to the mix. You were battling against sim guns indoors. Everybody had PPE on. We didn't have any safety concerns, no blind mans, no medical issues. It was all around like 2 thumbs up. Couldn't have gone any better. This state was so happy with us that they invited us back to do it again. So mission success, man, on 2 fronts, and that's what's up.
That's fantastic.
Awesome.
It was in Alabama, right?
Yeah, so it was at Mount Vernon Arsenal, which dates back to 1828. So you got buildings from the early to 1800s, Civil War era. The Union turned it over to the Confederate Army, and then vice versa. And then it got turned over to the state in the 1900s, early 1900s, and turned into Searcy Hospital. And so you have 2 generations of mental hospital on site, with the newest being buildings that were shut down in 2012. So we had access to limited buildings, which we knew the player base was going to be like, hey, what's up? What gives? But I think once they saw that we were dealing with Civil War era buildings, none of them are really playable. There are some other buildings that we're looking to open up in the future and expand the AO. So we hear the players, we hear the feedback. Keep the feedback coming because it's super important. And Weiner can back me up on that. Feedback from your staff is key because that's how we keep those guys coming back to keep the machine well oiled. And then the other base is, hey, players didn't like this. Okay, we got to pivot and move. And these guys didn't like this. So we got good takeaways. And the entire staff, here's one thing. Everybody's usually smoked after our events, and we don't hear anything for like 2 months. And then they'll creep back out of the cracks. All these guys are fired up to go again, which means that we did some good. 1 out of every 3 tickets was given away to a veteran. And so that's a huge thing for us. We gave away 60 tickets. And we're looking to go hit 100 again. We hit 100 at Six Flags. We're looking to hit 100, and that's where our focus is pushing towards the ability to have the very first MilSim event that's dedicated to only vets, and there's 100% free tickets and free lodging, and that's what our push is for. So if they're like, what are you doing with the money, Freddie? Then we're pushing to pay the bill to host an absolutely free event. And if you know anything about the business side of things,
That's so great. You have to enlist to be invited.
Yeah. No, we need civilian role players, so there'll be room. We're not just exclusively only vets. That's
I want to say I'm going to add on to something you said before about keep the feedback coming, guys. Look, I know this is airsoft, so I know drama's free, and we,
drama's free. Drama is free.
Drama. It's not drama free. Drama is free, guys.
Drama is free. Yeah, not drama free. Drama is free.
Popcorn.
Constructive criticism is always better.
Yes.
I get the backhanded compliments. I get it. It's easy to be sarcastic. Super easy to do all that. You want to push things forward. Constructive criticism is way better. Okay, get it out there. Look, I know you draw more heat from saying controversial things, but it really is better to try to have constructive criticism. And everybody here, what we do, we take it personal. It's hard to do this business and not be personal in it at the same time. I can tell that all the time for that. Thank you.
Greg sucks.
I'm aware of that. But
Christian's fired again.
Constructive criticism is way better to help us move forward. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Hey, I just wanted to, I know Jonathan Dozier gets his ass kicked in the comments section on social media. I just want to answer his question. So no, the track chair wasn't a present. We worked with an organization called Allen Force that does a lot for disabled vets for the very first beta test with the track chair, and they gave that to us. And then we fundraised $10,000, and we purchased a track chair. Everybody's seen it. It's been at a few events. And we just weren't hitting the mark on what the community expected out of it, what we wanted out of it. And so after 5 years of being able to fundraise with the biggest paperweight in the world, we sold it for $8,500 to a gentleman that lives out in the Panhandle, and he has mobility issues. And we dropped it off to him. His wife was kind enough to hand over $8,500 in cash, which recouped some of the, the expenses on that. And I watched this gentleman get in the action track chair and take off with his grandkids. And the shitty grin,
That's
That's
fantastic.
a movie moment right there.
That's awesome.
I was like, it felt good because like for me personally, and I'm not afraid, I take it on the chin when I deserve it. And we were lacking with that action track chair. We were trying. And the reality is, man, these guys that would fit the track chair, they're not worried about getting kinetic in airsoft. They're worried about getting kinetic in their day-to-day life of how do I get from point A to point B. Some of these guys just, they're what we take for granted is their daily struggle. And so we figured, okay, we need mobility. So we spent $10,000 on a truck. And I think that's a pretty even trade because the truck has been so graciously painted by Snick and myself, Lucky. A bunch of other people were in the mix with that. Sebastian.
Shout out TCA staff.
TCA staff. Yeah, a lot of guys came through to that. Colt Helton Tire Off-Road. Like, they came through huge. He stepped in and was like, hey, man, we're going to lift your truck, put tires on it, and make it look mean. And so that entire truck we spent 10 grand on, and the community came together to rebuild it. So action track chair, back to somebody who needed it, recoup some money. Now we got a truck. There's your answer, guys.
Okay.
Damn. Yeah.
I'll say this.
Thank you, Doge, for bringing it up.
Yeah, thank you, dude. I love the opportunity to have facts be spit. So
I'll say this. It's nice.
It's a great daily driver. Yeah, dude, all the moms at the school fucking love me pulling up in the truck every day.
Ladies, he's taken. It's nice to hear also too that you tried to use the chair for as a fundraising substrate. Saw it wasn't delivering not what you expected, but what the community expected.
Yeah, 100%.
So you got rid of it. I can respect that for sure. Daily driver's got me.
Daily driver.
It is. Dude. It's such a nice thing, to sit and look at every day, sit next to the trailer. Man, I wish I had a day job to freaking really keep me busy.
So try to be an event producer and have a regular day job. Good God. Yeah.
So it sounds like everything kicked off well enough for you guys. I know, and Fred, you and I talked about it. We're gonna get to the elephant in the room for some of these guys.
Some of these guys are like, "Yo, man, let's go."
Yeah. We're gonna get there. So Jonathan Dozier, don't leave the chat because we're gonna talk about that one too.
Really trying to make this guy a celebrity, aren't you? He ain't going.
But throwing the ball back to Weiner.
Wait, you can't be in two places at once.
Hey, I want to say something real quick here though too. When it ended up, our events were both on the same weekend. It was not planned that way, but I will give it up to FFA and Freddie for giving me a call to let me know that it was going to happen on the same day, at that time too. So we couldn't, it's just the communication between event producers, which is awesome out there.
Communication is key in business and in anything that we do. And, I got your back, guys. We're going back in November. We're going to hit the AO, right? And listen, we're not perfect. The schedule's never perfect.
Right.
We're stepping on somebody's toes someplace, and the last thing I want to do is step on my dance partner's toes because you guys rock dancing and cutting up.
I don't know, Freddie. It's so hard being the little guy with these big companies communicating with us and letting us know in advance. I mean, to be super honest, I feel oppressed. Heaven forbid you give us so much time.
You look oppressed with that shirt that you're stretching out of right now.
Dude, you can't be anything but amazing with those sunglasses.
We did talk about it months ago.
Right, correct. We did have it.
Freddie's first call was to Weiner, second call was to me.
Yeah.
And then we did a stream about it with both these guys on the stream, talking about it. So there was no hate. There was nothing but love. And they just did what they had to do. And look, it being a problem of having too many event producers, that's not a problem to me. You know, like to us, yeah, that's a lot. That's good. It means we've got enough people going out there and playing. We keep it going. I mean, we're seeing people pop up left and right. We Simple just had their grand opening a couple weeks ago.
I went to that. It was super awesome.
And they're 180 miles, whatever, south of us.
We see a couple new stores opening in the state.
All over the place.
We see already existing airsoft hosts and producers produce and host more. We see more collaborations. We see more airsoft organizations go to other events and go, "We're here. Well, you should support these guys." I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. There's some solidarity there.
I don't. It's not competition in a way that most people see. I see.
Are you telling me this is community based and oriented? What the heck?
The rising tide raises all ships. The more we do, the better we do.
I think I saw that on like a woman's like kitchen painting one. All rising tides.
We're getting there. We're gonna do. What
an organic segue.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Stay tuned.
All right.
After this short break from our sponsors.
Yes. Are we ready to talk about this? I mean,
yeah, man. Yeah. So I guess I just jump in unless you got a line of questionings you guys want to fire away at.
You act like he's holding a bomb that'll go off. Are we ready? Are we ready?
Because we have 30 minutes left and we need 3 hours for this.
No, dude, we don't. Dude, it'll be way quicker than the safety brief that they didn't get. So there's the one side joke into it. And first of all, nobody wants any bad blood. Nobody wants any drama or anything like that. Okay. But when an event host has a very strict timeline, a very strict schedule, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a sponsor, whether you're a sponsored player, whether you're a vendor, or you're just a regular player, there's timelines. And so at VFA, we're always on strict timeline, especially for this event, we're on a really strict timeline. But given that we had 9 hours of registration time, 9 total hours of registration time, and we talk about communication. So there were some things that fell through in what had transpired between Mr. Russell and Veterans for Airsoft, and what essentially is now, turned into the latest airsoft drama. So here we are representing airsoft with the best of the best, and we're showing our asses. But long story short, I got a radio call. Hey, I got a player here with Mr. Russell. We weren't tracking. He needed a safety brief. It was 4:00 on Saturday. So we were already into the third mission of the weekend. And we lock the gates. So there's no access on or off the AO because of what we bring to our events and what we were bringing for this one, which was Simfire indoors. And we were playing big boy rules. And we were bringing pyro in, and it's a dangerous AO. So safety was always our key. So our safety brief was really dialed in, and I could not get access to the laptops to pull for safety brief because they were in the Frago building that was currently running with players in it, and they were currently active. And so I called, it was me and Rachel running things. She runs the front of the house. I run the house, and we get it done. And she says, we want to make an exception for him. And I said, I said, stand by. And I mulled it over for 5-6 minutes while I was sitting in the Fraggle lane waiting for us to spin up and come off the X. And I just told her, I said, hey, we can't do it right now. I couldn't sacrifice stopping what we had already started and what we were kicking off to accommodate one individual, regardless of who they were. And so I said, okay, I thought everything was good. Then she called me and she said, hey, I think we might have a problem. And I was like, okay. Well, I trust you. You can handle it. Just call me on the radio if you need me. Right. And so then I get a radio call and it's, hey, Freddie, I'm going to need you to come up front. So I went up front. I walked all the way up there. I stopped what I was doing. I turned over the Fraggle lane to the cadre, who did an amazing job, by the way. And I walked up there and I met with Mr. Russell. But before I did, I had a conversation with my wife, and she just expressed to me that Mr. Russell didn't like the no. He became kind of disrespectful to her, that she felt he was disrespectful. and that he was pretty much just going to ask me anyways. But then that him and his friend, they were overheard saying that they were just going to say fuck it and go on the field anyways. And so I talked to Mr. Russell. He was talking to a customer. I said, hey, no, finish your business, man. And so we had a conversation. I explained to him, I can't give you a safety brief, man. And he was upset. He was very, very upset. He asked for preferential treatment, and I denied him. And it's just as simple as that. We just weren't in a place to give him a safety brief. And then he tried to persuade me with that his friend had been to a bunch of events and that, it wasn't anything to just let him come onto the field, and that he didn't need to worry about chronoing a weapon because they had chronoed weapons. And he offered an EOTech site, an expensive EOTech site for a safety brief. And he asked me what my safety briefs were worth. And I told him they were worth $1 million because that's how much the insurance policies pay out if there's a safety violation. So it was strictly based on safety and the fact that we were very well outside a check-in process. And whether it's Milsim West not allowing you to go back to the parking lot and you go home if that's the case because you can't come back in, like that's not the rules, or it's AMS or it's Third Coast or it's Lions, whoever it is, like there's a check-in timeline and we do the best to accommodate, and I couldn't accommodate. And I asked him if we were going to have trouble, and he was upset, man. And I understand. If my buddy drove 2 hours, I would probably be upset too. I apologized to the gentleman. I said, I'm really sorry, man. I wish we would have had communication because I would have been prepared. There weren't going to be any issues. And then there was another player that wanted to talk to me and bend my ear about something. And so I stuck around vendor row. Raffle comes around on Sunday and I can't find Mr. Russell. And so I texted him to find out if he was okay. I said, is everything okay? And he gave me a spiel about how, well, you go listen to his Instagram video, everybody. That way you get both sides of the story. And he pretty much takes it from there about why he decided to take the raffle prize, that he had a business agreement with Veterans for Airsoft, exchange of vendor space and promotion, that he would give this raffle, and he had everybody shooting it, and he was going to have his buddy go and use it on the field, which is where the used gun comment came from. I was questioning him raffling off a used gun. I would expect, I've had custom guns built by DEO. I would expect them to put 1,500 rounds through it. I expect them to tune it and make sure it's good to go. I don't expect them to give it to a bunch of players to test out or take it on the field and play with it, and then it shows up at the raffle. I find that, personally, I find that, and that's where those comments came. It's a used gun at that point. I don't know anything about custom guns, guys. I like out-of-the-box guns. I'm here to operate. It's the tool is simply a ways to get kinetic. I'm not a gun nerdy guy. So there it is. Questions, comments, concerns. I see the sections snapping off.
Questions, and I can answer one for you. Sorry about that. Real quick. Why is it doing this? Don't reply.
Click on one of the other comments.
There we go. Let me just, sorry, I'm being an old man for a second. How long is a safety brief? And the answer is as long as the event host requires it to be.
Yeah. Or in our case, I think it were 15 to 20 minutes, I think was the average. And we gave out 20 something safety briefs throughout Friday and Saturday morning. And we gave a special safety brief even well after check-in because there was communication and the laptop happened to be available on vendor row for that. So we needed laptops. We did death by PowerPoint. This was Milsim. We really embraced it.
Certainly. And then another a good question for sure, much like the last is,
after
gun, but can we get a yes or no that you gave a safety brief to anyone after making this decision? So when you said no.
Yeah. No. So the last safety brief that was given by anybody on my staff was at 10:30 to a VIP veteran. And we knew that he was coming late, and that was right as we were starting mission window 2. But again, folks, we're talking about 3:30, 4 o'clock on Saturday evening when we're well over halfway through the event. And so there it is. This wasn't a personal thing. This was a safety issue. At VFA events, we put safety above everything. We're all veterans. Most of us have run range operations. A lot of guys have run downrange operations. No, and you know, I'm glad that you read the rule set, and the rule set took up one slide. It said MilSim SOP, any questions? Because at VFA, read the SOP, read the SOP, read the SOP.
Hey, Doge, listen, I can appreciate your comments, man. We did talk about being constructive. TCA, AMS, Milsom West, all of
Man,
them.
this is VFA, man.
whoever,
I love what they
this
do.
is BFA,
I love what they do.
and they made a decision because they were and this is the first time you've used a PowerPoint presentation because this was the first time you've done an event like this
Ever since they invented a PowerPoint. Yeah.
Right?
So
So
we know that Dozier's been to freaking everybody's events. Come on, dude. Come on, bro. There ain't no sheep in here.
So I'm just like I said, you know, I'm not pushing anybody off. We're answering all the questions,
but at the same time,
looking to poke buttons is you know.
But
Let the dogs
TCA does use
Yeah.
PowerPoint
It's one of those
for those
conversations.
AMS.
It's
Listen, you tell me if you've, well, Dozier's trying to serve. I hope MEPS takes you. But visual aids really keep the presenter on track. It makes the safety briefs universal, and it gives visual aid to us, ADHD kids that are playing with toy guns. And
Yeah.
here we all are watching visual aids of everybody sitting at home. Greg, your shirt, by the way, speed kills. I'm just wondering, are you the king of drugs on the street there? Myers?
But I didn't know if you didn't know. This is
I love it. No, I do. Tell me about it.
This is the DEO Speed Soft division. Speed Kills is our Speed Soft division. Since we opened up the indoor, I figured I would cut it off at the pass and create a Speed Soft division before it created itself here. So
MilSim crossing over to Speed Soft. Oh my God, minds are blown everywhere.
Look at it. If you stepped outside a bar and a guy wanted to fight you, and there was no way of getting out of fight, no way whatsoever, you weren't talking out, hands were getting thrown no matter what.
You're right.
I'd rather throw the first punch then.
Oh, I thought you were gonna. I want to run.
No, I'd rather beat it to the punch. If I can frame it out the way it needs to be framed out, and that's what we're trying to do.
To retract it's not necessarily derailed, but redirected train here a bit. As context for how each event producer does their safety instruction, our typical outdoor game days, we essentially read the rules to you. The whole rule set. Because we really want you to know how connected we are to the rules and go into detail how connected we want you to be to the rules. Because as the illustrious Freddie Lux just said, safety overall. You can't have fun if it's not safe. For sure. And I mean, it's just Weiner. I think we can be in agreement on that. We want you to know the rules. Now, at other event producers, there are different expectations.
Yep.
You go to TCA, Sal holds a piece of paper and starts, if you don't know this, you're an idiot. And then goes into the detail, and that's being generous, goes into the detail of extra hazards and will remind players of different things as well. Just different event producers have different methods to convey safety. And I can empathize with you, Freddie, needing the PowerPoint. He said puddle pirate.
Oh, that's so strong. Oh,
hey, there was another question Ace asked, like, am I going to learn anything from this and pushing forward? And here's yeah, as man, dude, listen, man, we got you. You want to come out to an event? I got you, bro. I'll take care of you. We'll make sure you have a really good time. Bring your buddy with you, that guy.
Thank you, Colt.
Hey, Colt. Yeah,
super.
I miss you, bud. I miss you, Colt.
Oh, Colt, tell us how great we are.
Dude, if it wasn't for these guys keeping us rolling.
Yeah.
No.
Listen, and I talked to Greg about this earlier, and we understand that through these events, new business owners get opportunities to bring their dreams and their visions to the table and to fruition. And we did that with Mr. Russell with Six Flags. I didn't even have a logo at that time, and I think his products are fantastic. There's tons of guys that bought his products, and this shouldn't have any effect on his product. I think learning forward, we'll just go back to what we did at Six Flags, and we won't give away vendor space for free. And the legitimate businesses will understand that, hey, we're going to use your money for the helicopter and for things like that. And then we'll just sign the paperwork and sign the contracts, because a verbal agreement to me, I'm a man, and you shake my hand and you agree on something, and there it is. Whether you like my choice of saying no to you or not, there was an agreement that you broke, sir. And for those reasons, I got a little heated, and so here we are. And players
Here
are
we
here
are.
we are. So the players are going to make their choice, and dragging me in the North American community, get over it, guys. Like, I'm thick skinned on that.
In the end, the folks that were at the event, sounds like they had a great time.
Great time.
Yes.
The ones that came in, ones that played, ones that were there, ones that followed the rules, ones that did all that, sound like they had a great time.
Yeah.
So, and I've already committed to you that we'll be at the next one.
And listen,
don't plan one.
it's all for free tickets for vets, guys. Like, we want more guys to come out. We had a group of Army infantry officers from Benning come out. There were 7 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Were they all bumping into each other?
Dude, it was so they ran Saturday mornings, Frago. It was really interesting. But no, things like that, like we're making an impact on the military. Yeah. So much drama. What is more drama than high school? And I'm just like, oh, dude,
it's just a continuation.
We had no drama. Like, players are going to be players, and they're going to do what they do. But for the most part, man, there was no real drama on the field and at the event. So
there's as much drama as you validate. There's as much drama as you perpetuate. People can go boo-hoo. As soon as you validate they're going boo-hoo, they're like, aha, boo-hoo indeed.
Yeah.
New patch, ASS, Airsoft Sorority Society.
Dude, Dozier, you already have a veteran, man. You need to become a MILSIM veteran. That's when you really earn your stripes.
Airsoft Purple Heart.
That's where military guys go to earn their new stripes, is MILSIM. So get kinetic.
And Weiner, you're over there.
Yep.
Still alive. That's good.
I know. I'm still breathing.
Yeah, thank you for listening to us.
No problem. No, hey, I'm.
No fist fights. That's okay.
No fist fights. Nope.
Right?
No fist fights. No blind. And like you said, we had no blind men. We had no Mississippi. No fist fights. Nobody. Yeah, we had one. Like I said, we had one minor heat casualty, and that was very minor. No. Everybody stayed hydrated. Everybody listened. The only casualty I had was we were talking about safety briefs and stuff like that. I made it through the first safety brief, no problem. Went to the second safety brief, and my little bullet point thing I had set up on my phone was gone. I had to do it off the cuff from there on out.
Dude, so tell me how, dude, that's the worst. You're like, what am I forgetting? And then you're like,
what I did was,
wait.
Like every good guy, I asked, do you guys have any questions? Did you read the rule set?
Yeah.
You know, they said yes and all that good stuff. So it was just one of those things, but I didn't draw a blank. And then of course I had Mark from Players Wanted over here with his questions all the time. So it was, giving me crap, but it went well. So I did survive. I wasn't stressed. I just,
you weren't stressed.
No, I wasn't stressed at all. I was smiling through the whole time. And
me either.
Because I had staff. I know how to delegate. I had my staff doing what they needed to do. And it was a successful event.
We had some very interesting discrepancies called that weren't even horrendous. They were just like, okay, go get an admin and tell them to just don't do that.
Minor stuff. It was all minor stuff. Something that happens at every airsoft field, period.
I was perturbed.
But I think the biggest thing was, though, that they showed up. I made sure that this was not a team deathmatch. This was objective based, objective based playing, and they seem to enjoy it. They've never been to one. They're ready to go to the next one. So, and some of them were ready to move up even on top of that. Move up to a Veterans for Airsoft or Milsim West or
So
ECA.
Greg,
Yep.
This is Greg.
I know.
Greg.
And I was good. So that right there, and Freddie and I have talked about this. Weiner and I have talked about this. You and I have talked. I mean, you were there at the start of it. Mm-hmm. The whole North American Airsoft Milsim Association it's teeny little bricks at a time.
Yep.
Lego bricks. I'm building it slowly. When we can get at some point everybody on the same page, when all of the major event producers can all get together, we don't have to produce the same events, but we can all agree on a certain level of standards. We can get there, and we can grow from there.
Yep.
Super easy, really super easy, and that's how we grow the sport. It really is how we grow the sport.
It'd also be really funny to look at every airsoft shop as a congregation or a flock, if you will, to apostolatize to, or to arm with the holy word and have them go evangelize all those paintballers and LARPers into our holy kingdom.
Dude, I think you need to be the priest at the next redacted.
That's why he needs to be a priest, yeah. Because you realize, Christian, that most of your big words go over almost every airsoft.
Yeah. We should get people to play airsoft.
Monosyllabic.
Look, I have a lot of faith
taken
in
acting
Freddie and
classes?
Weiner, but
Zero faith in me. That's okay though. So, no, I can't. I'm really looking forward to going and playing what I missed.
That was very funny. It's all fun and games till you have a
The power roll up on you. Yep.
Dun, dun,
Shout out
dun.
Recio sucking out the literal like dystopian future cyberpunk apocalypse being cast upon him.
Yeah.
Oh,
So with your guys' power armor, like that we were saying, VFA's got some Terminator experience. How many players did you have like crap themselves?
Follow us in
Like,
DM.
around the corner.
It was just watching the eyes. I think the younger players up there were more fascinated, would actually follow them around.
Yeah,
And
they're
of
like,
course,
oh, we got a
guys-
protector.
That's right, and that's exactly what. There's actually a video
Power
of one of them.
armor.
Yeah, it was actually one of them, and one of the power armors actually had armament on him that you could use. That he would stop, take a knee, whatever it is, and you can fire off the cannon off of him to use against the opposing side, which was way cool. That was
Cool.
Froggers, of course.
We also had different operatives that you could basically pay to have a player fill a specific role. So one of the operatives was a breaching operative, and they would get assigned a sledgehammer to clear different enclosed spaces. You couldn't enter a room if there was sheets of 2x4s across it, like it was barricaded. So only they could breach the walls, which was just like a setup to be collapsible and reusable. So one of the breaching operatives is like, wait, this is a foam weapon. Is this like melee proof for the event? And I go, yes. That guy killed a power armor user and like 8 other normal players, just bonking him with this foam sledgehammer. It was the funniest, best use of the operative class at that event. Shout out to Tan's operative. You can only have one, and that guy nailed it.
Real quick, Doge, stick around. We can talk about that. We don't run a lot of events as DEO. We actually partner with NuBreed. We do have 2 events that are coming up. One of them is a very specialized event. We've talked about it several times, and that's going to become a series. That's our Excommunicado. But we are going to be doing North vs. South again soon.
Sometime here soon.
hope.
Yep.
I hope.
Not even talking about 6 mm shootout.
No, I'm not. I'm not talking about.
The one I want to do.
So it's you may forget what.
Derailed.
Nailed it.
I was. So Fred, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if you know this or not, but during the game, the COs could spend their points as currency.
Yeah, I was tracking that because
Yeah.
like somebody will just spend all of their JDAMs.
We had.
Well, let's head into the negative.
So this was a trick, Freddie. So there were gadgets and operatives. Operatives, you had a maximum amount you could buy to upgrade different players. Different players could do different things, specialized. But the gadgets were airstrikes, bombs, except every time you bought something, there was a cooldown on it, and you couldn't use it again until a timer ran out.
I like that.
NCO, bless this man. While we were doing, I had each CO one-on-one. NCO went, is there anything saying I can't buy every operative at the game start? And I got with so much pride in my heart, I went, nothing says you can't immediately blow and go in the negative of all your score. And he just, game started, boom, bought every operative. He maxed out every operative, immediately went to insane debt. It was so fun.
Sounds like work. Yeah, just go into massive debt.
Yeah.
And spend all the money you can on armor. Yep.
Yeah.
Real world. I think we had that discussion.
It was so fun. Also got to try out an airstrike I've always wanted to do. Rod from God. you drop it on a grid coordinate, it hits north, east, south, and west as well. So you're hitting 5 grid coordinates instead of 1, and it had a
Okay.
3-hour cooldown each time you used it. So we had an array position where if you held it and completed a take and hold frago, you would unlock the orbital asset, and then we would drop it. Shout out to Green dropping on Tan. Tancio reported after 1 drop, "Hi, I lost 90% of my forces." I mean, just the money shot on those guys. It was perfect.
Shout out to Eric Fort. That's website. He's
Yep.
he's our guy. Builds our website and a lot of our back end stuff. And built tactics is the new what NuBreed uses. What we'll be using.
Yes.
For
tactics for ticket sales. Yep, that's correct.
It's more than just ticket sales. He's got modules built for it, things like that. So yeah, it's awesome. Fantastic having his big brain around.
Also, circling back real quick, shout out to all the operatives that found me after the game and gave me feedback, good and bad. Mostly good. The bad was what I needed, which there's very little of. The only complaint I had was more stuff for operatives to do. The breachers especially, I want more stuff to break. And I went, well, okay then. So not a bad complaint. So very excited for that. Sunk that pirate. Oh my God. Yes, that's right. Rage. They completed the take and hold to get the Rod from God array. Completed the take and hold. Unlocked the God from Rod. Then I get the communication. This is a green command to game controller. Permission to drop Rod from God. Certainly where? On the array. So at that point, the green forces left at the array were so few, and they were completely surrounded by Tan. Dropped it. They got a couple of their guys and like 20 Tan guys in one shot. It was so funny. Shout out to the COs. More feedback is appreciated, but they played the game. They used the mechanics to a very fun.
They didn't ignore it and just do TDM. They actually got out there. They did everything that they needed to do.
It was a different game. It was an alt sim, and I know it was confusing for some. Biggest piece of feedback I got on this was I will release more of the unique rules earlier. I don't want to go into a diatribe because I have you both here, but seriously, shout out to Weiner for just letting me rip loose. Weiner just let me ride a game I wanted to play, which I'll never play because that's how hell works. So shout out to you, Weiner. Shout out to the players and the command. Sorry.
So, all right, so we got a few minutes left. And one of the questions that's been asked a couple times is, what did you guys learn and what will you change? So I'll throw that out to either one of you.
Freddie,
take it away.
So here's what we learned. You have to have a plan. And so we came into this organization, safety and fun, and we hit it in that order. So I learned that I've got an amazing team behind me that's bringing these VFA events to the next level. Things that we are paying attention to. Just because we tell you to read the rules, you're not going to read the rules. And sometimes there's things like medical bleed time that changes. So for us, it's a 3-minute bleed time. And it's 3 minutes, and it's mandatory you go back to your respawn. And for that, it forces you to stop fucking running and gunning, start setting up a blocking position so you can retract your guy and get them back in the game, because the medical aspect is really what we're trying to push. There is a training value to our MilSim events. There's training value to all MilSim events. So we're learning how to purchase the buy-in from the player base using no currency other than, the experience that we guarantee. And so we put on a good event. We're excited to go back and expand. I mean, comment section, chat, hit me up. Yeah. Listen, I'll say this. Freddie will say this. I'm a human being. I'm a veteran who has my own health struggles inside of the service and outside of the service. I do the best that I can. I don't take a dime. My team volunteers their time and everything that they put into it. And if you can't get behind our mission and it's not something that's up your alley, just regretfully bow out. And otherwise, stick around because we got tons planned and a lot more free tickets and a lot more awareness. And working with other organizations, we're really excited. So, thank you.
Clip that one, haters. Yeah. Clip that. That was, oh my God.
Is it hard?
You won't find a lot of event producers that will go on a public platform and go, "Hey, I'm human. I messed up. Here's what happened. Here's the detail. Here's the whole story." Like, props to you, Fred. No one does.
Man, we all say fuck you on the field, straight up. Like, it doesn't matter how great of a player you are, you're screaming at somebody. And I said this in my safety brief: you don't step into the MMA ring and bitch that you got punched in the face. But here we are bitching about getting overshot or undershot, or they didn't call. And it's like, man, you just don't know. Your eyes ain't that good. Your ears ain't that good. And you just ain't that good. But that's what we're here for. Let's get better.
Yeah.
Dearest Weiner.
I make sure I have my bullet points written down next time. And the biggest thing is prepare better for the walk-ons, because it's the type of airsoft environment I put my events in. So I'm not going to deny anybody to come onto the field. Granted, it is, I call it, okay, I didn't coin this term. Alex Pasco uses it, came up with a patch for it, but it's called chill sim. So we're not going to be hardcore on the mil sim side of the rules, but we're going to give them the mil sim side of the rules. And like I said, the walk-ons or brand new people to even experience it don't come with the right uniforms and things along those lines. That's why I learned about, when I bring the t-shirts. Now, if I had on the go surplus there who brings everything, I wouldn't have to worry about it too much. But unfortunately, the smaller fields are kind of hard for them to come down to, which I don't blame them. I mean, they have to be able to make some money too, to make that kind of trip. But other than that, listen to my people, listen to the minor complaint. Like I said, it was very minor. It was nothing that was going to make me look at, reevaluate my life because of the complaints that we had. It was nothing along those lines. So I had a blast. I smiled throughout the whole event. I was dead on Sunday. I lost my voice on Sunday from talking to people and doing the safety briefs. And that's what I like to do. I mean, meeting the new people and, seeing their joy and having a fun time, or watching their kids have a good time. So it was just, like I said, you just learn from everything. And I agree. I agree with that. I mean, I do understand that. And
I will throw myself
under the bus
here. I thought I thought it would be more fun to play the rules closer to the time. So I released the rules later because it was more of, golly gee willikers, what on earth is happening? I made sure that day of, I would brief the COs of each side. I promise, this is mostly, you can almost count this as minor, but to me, I care greatly about this because this is coming from people I trust and people that trust me. And this is very, very constructive. The next Warlord that will be released, I promise you will have a minimum of 2-week lead time on it. 2-week lead time. This is the one criticism I take to heart, because I don't want people to feel like it's unfair. So that I really want to. That is a great constructive piece of criticism. Fully accept I did it, and you will not ever see that again. And if you do, you know my address, and bring a whip. So,
but you'd enjoy that too much.
And also, I love that comment.
Holy crap.
Freddie, rule next time. Have an amazing event, not on the same week. I'm so bummed you don't get it.
Me too.
We're gonna work to make sure that doesn't happen. We're already making sure that we're deconflicting now. So,
what's that? Talking about your hair?
No, not so much.
Dude, I love his hair.
Barber, by the way.
I do too.
Rachel, if Rachel's still watching this, I want my hair like Greg's. Hey, we could be modern day Nielsen twins, man.
Shout out Chris Dado.
Hey, hey, you notice I just realized something.
Oh, no.
check Grogu out, and then check out Mondo. see the reference, the height reference.
Yeah, it's a real Milsim twins.
Yeah,
Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I hate you, no, Rachel. I love you. There's Rachel. Hey, she liked it.
I like his haircut, Rachel. I want that done to me. This is
actually close.
Oh, you can do it all day long.
Mine's bad right now too. I got to go get it cut.
Yeah,
gentlemen, thank you so very much for coming on.
I can't
Thank you for having me.
Having
us.
It flowed. We did a good job.
Yeah, it's already after 8.
The chat was fantastic tonight. Thank you guys for being respectful. And thank you Freddie, especially for answering all the questions, all the comments.
Mhm.
Really do appreciate all your time. Look forward to it the next time. I have already committed to the next one, Fred. So we're definitely going to be there.
Yep.
Weiner, I'll see you soon, I'm sure. at
Oh
some
yeah.
point.
Some
And
point. Yeah.
until then, gentlemen, thank you very much. Everyone, we will see you on the next
Follow
one.
VFA, follow
All right.
NuBreed, follow DEO.
NuBreed